Welcome back to It Takes a Universe. I'm Ashley, and today we are going over the first 5 things you should do once you're in LA. Now, if you haven't watched the 5 things you should do before moving to LA, make sure to check that video out and also stick around to the end because I do have another bonus tip. Now, let's get into it. Number 1, budget. Now, I know I said create an estimated budget prior to moving here, but once you're in LA, things may be different. There may be some bills or other things that you didn't really think about that could pop up and your estimate could be off. Mine certainly was. How much are your groceries? How much are your utilities? How much are you driving around? So then how much is your gas? Are you eating out? Are you going on dates? Are you paying for a parking spot? Yeah, so update your budget before moving on to the next steps. Inflation is real and adulting sucks. Number 2, classes. Now that you have your actual budget in place, you can see what classes you can afford. I would recommend asking your peers and also doing research online. Now, don't just sign up for like a highly rated studio right away. I once paid in advance for 3 months at this highly rated studio, right? I did not have a great experience at all, and they also were like, no refunds. That being said, don't be in a rush to sign up for the first studio that you ever check out. Make sure to audit as many studios as you can. Most audits are free, some you have to pay, which is ridiculous. Like, I'm testing you out. Like anything else in life, see what your options are, okay? So audit as many places as you can. See what's the right fit for you. Some places might be highly recommended, but you don't vibe. I've had that experience for like 3 or 4 studios. Or some you may come across because it's like invite only by casting directors, or it's like they don't really know how to utilize social media, so you didn't really find them before, but you vibe with them. That is totally cool. Just do so before forking over hundreds of dollars a month. Now, on certain websites for acting studios, they do have actor testimonials. I have an opinion about these actor testimonials, but that is a video for another day. So once you see these testimonials on these websites, I would recommend DMing those actors on social media platforms and just asking them, one, when was this testimonial put up? Is the testimonial recent or is it from like 8 years ago? Ask them truly what their experience is, because sometimes it's not their words, sometimes the studio could be writing it out for them. So I would always recommend reaching out to actors, if you can, for studios that you possibly want to take classes at. Now, personal tip. Some of my friends have found an acting studio that they like and they've been there for years. But for me, not just in acting, in any aspect of my life, I like to have different teachers. Why? Because different teachers have different backgrounds, have different experiences, have different approaches, and I feel as an actor in our craft, we should have multiple different varieties and different tools to use to approach our work. Do whatever floats your boat. You do you, boo. Number 3, casting director workshops. Now, casting director workshops are different from classes. How so, you may ask? They are typically just a 1-day pop-up, sometimes they could be 2, but essentially they give you a 2 to 3 page scene to prepare, or you bring your own, and then you come into the workshop and perform that scene in front of the casting director, and they give you notes. Now, this is typically super beneficial for people with little to no credits because you get to be face-to-face with a casting director that you normally wouldn't have access to, especially if you have no reps. I need to get my face out there. I need to go to all of them. I did that and I burned through my money fast. Take a deep breath and be intentional about your career. Ask yourself these questions. What is my essence? What characters do I want to play? What networks do I want to be on? What shows or films am I inspired by? Then you go on IMDb and you see who casts those shows. It's all listed under casting crew. And then once you have your list of casting directors, then you look for those workshops and go to their workshops. Like there was once this one casting director workshop I came across and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go to all of them. And then I actually researched him and he was just doing like independent horror films, which is great if you want to do that, but I personally don't. So that being said, be intentional. Just go to the casting director workshops that you actually want to be called into their offices for. You do not need to go to all of them. Self-submit to roles. You are your first agent and you will always be your agent. No one is going to fight for your career like you. So like I said in the previous video, make sure you have your profiles completely filled out, casting networks for commercials, and actors access for theatrical. So that is your headshots, those are your credits, that's your real clip footage, and your slate shots. For actors access, start submitting to independent films and student films so you can start building your credits and getting some real clips. Some credible colleges for student films are USC, Chapman, and AFI. If they're another independent production company, of course, do your research to see if they have websites with their previous work or IMDb with some previous work. For casting networks, you can start to self-submit yourself to commercials, and commercials typically are easier because it's just a look. But remember, before booking a commercial or signing a contract, make sure you know the terms such as the exclusivity or is this in perpetuity. If you're a little confused on commercial terms, you can definitely check out my video, Commercial Terms, to help you with that. And also, say if you're like, hey, I didn't come out here for commercial stuff. That's not me. I'm a theatrical actor. I get that. But I would say be open to commercials because it's easier to book. There is some good money in it, and you can use that to invest in headshots and classes and your theatrical career. The point of self-submitting is to earn your 10,000 hours, right? By self-submitting, you want to add credits to your resume. You want to add reel and clip footage to your profiles. You want to network with the cast and crew. You want to actually get some set experience, and of course, you want to hone your craft. Just like casting director workshops, you do not need to submit to all projects, okay? Only submit to projects or scripts that you want to play, roles that you are excited about, and that really are true to your essence. Number 5, submit to managers and agents. Now, I said this in the previous video before moving here, where you do your research, you have the list of agents and managers you want to submit to. So now that you're here, if you have no credits, my experience is that commercial agents are easier to get because you don't need any experience. But when should you submit to a commercial agent? Have you booked a commercial through casting networks through a self-submission? Have you taken some improv classes? Do you have a special skill or know a special language? These things would make your commercial submission look so much stronger. But of course, yes, you can still get one without them. I give specifics on how to get a commercial agent in my video, how to get a commercial agent answered by a commercial agent, and also how to obtain that commercial agent. So make sure to check out that video. It is super insightful and I'm very proud of it. Now on the theatrical side, after you have some indie films, some short films, some student films under your belt, you can start submitting to managers. Managers versus agents will be a video for another day. Managers have fewer clients on their board and they are more open to signing new clients who have little experience or more developmental. And then they can later on assist you with getting an agent. Could you get an agent first? Yes, I did. But agents typically want you to have your own credits and momentum on your own so that they can use that momentum to pitch you to auditions. Bonus tip time! Wow, you stuck around. Thank you so much. If you're getting any value out of this video, please make sure to hit that like button. Now, number 6 is get a coach. This is outside of classes, or maybe you can't afford ongoing classes. I would recommend getting a coach. In any aspect in life, I truly feel that one-on-one attention is way more efficient than being in a group. Just like a personal trainer versus a group fitness class, one-on-one attention is super beneficial. Now, I'm an advocate for getting a coach because as you'll start to see once you take classes here, classes are typically 3 to 4 hours and you have a scene with your partner and you go up once, and it's sometimes usually you're only working 20 to 30 minutes in that class, and then the rest of the class you're watching others. And that experience depends. It could be a super beneficial experience to watch others who may be series regulars or lead in films, but sometimes maybe it's not so beneficial if they're not someone you can learn something from. So if you get a coach, I'd recommend only spending that money for actual auditions, like auditions that you could book that will help your career or maybe change your career. Again, know your budget, start taking classes, start taking casting director workshops. Once you are happy with your headshots and credits and real footage from your self-submissions, then you can start submitting to managers and agents. And if you can, get a coach. All this being said, there is no one way to success. The outline of these tips is something that I wish I had once I got here. So if you took any value out of this video, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Or if you feel there is a tip that you want to share with us, please do so. And remember, trust your instincts. You got this.